What's up everyone, it's your girl Shay here, and welcome to my channel if you are new, and welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. As you can see by the title of today's video, I'm going to be discussing or talking about manga that are currently on my DNF list, or did not finish list, or do not finish list. And the reason why I decided to come with this video is because of the fact that I know that you guys saw from a previous video, I did a reorganization of my bookshelf. So I figured during that point in time, I actually made a shelf of books that I plan to donate or plan to give away, and I included a few manga on that shelf. I also am including in this video, or going to be discussing manga that while they're not yet on my DNF list, it's mostly because of the fact that at this point in time, I don't have an insane feeling or want to really finish these manga, but this might change in the future only because I've had this happen before with another manga. So let's get started with this video. The first manga I have on my list is actually one I've actually talked about before, and for this one, this is a light novel series though, but this one is in another world with my smartphone. I talked about this before with the very first volume. For some reason, I cannot find the first volume. I feel like I might have given it away already or donated it or left it somewhere, but this is the second one. And basically in this light novel, a boy is basically transferred into another world because he is killed accidentally. So as a way for him to be like reincarnated, the god decides to reincarnate him into another land, and the only object he was allowed to keep with him was his cell phone. I tried reading it because I had heard a lot about the anime, but while slowly reading it, I then realized I wasn't the biggest fan of it. The characters were just kind of convoluted. It was written very weirdly and kind of reminded me of something written by someone who's like 5 or 6 years old, or just like an elementary school age. So it just really did not interest me. So I just decided to give up all hope on reading it and just kind of decided to DNF it. Now, I did hear from some other people that they also didn't have the best time reading this, so I don't feel that bad, but yeah. And another world with my smartphone just was not the manga for me. So the second manga I have on my list is one that I actually talked about before because I tried to do a reading vlog of me reading it, and that was Romeo and Juliet. Now, as many of us know, it is basically, Romeo and Juliet is basically about two kids that are star-crossed lovers. We've all read the Shakespearean play while we were in high school. So basically, I thought this was a retelling of the story, very similar to when at one point I know Funimation did a Romeo and Juliet anime series. And I thought it was basically just another retelling. But no, it was word for word, just like how William Shakespeare wrote it, Romeo and Juliet. And at the time, I just was not in the mood for reading it, and it just really turned me off. And I have realized that this is a great learning experience to read the back of your manga before taking it home with you and before buying it, so that you're not buying something and then realizing once you finally read it that it's not what you were expecting, and it was written clearly on the back in regular English and not ye olde English, because literally on the back it has on here William Shakespeare most popular play featuring the unaltered original text in its entirety. And I didn't realize that when I wrote it. I didn't realize that when I first bought it, not wrote it, because Lord knows I didn't write this. But yeah, that's why I decided to DNF it, because it's just not up my alley. I already read William Shakespeare while in school, and while I did enjoy it, I don't want to read it in a manga form. So yeah, DNF in this book too. So the last and final one that I have on my list for DNF manga that I plan to give away or plan to donate, and do not hate me for this one because I have a good reason for it. And this one is I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, but this is the novelized version. As many of you guys know, I did a reel on my Instagram talking about I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, and that was because I read the manga version of it. I was able to buy it off of iBooks because I had this version sitting on my shelf for quite a while, but I just wasn't in the mood for reading it for some reason. And I think it's because it was just the novelized version and I really wanted to read the manga form of it. So when I was able to buy the manga form, I just kind of decided to just give this one away. Doesn't mean it's a bad manga whatsoever, because the manga is very, very sad. It's very, very good. And if you saw my reel about it, you know how much I loved I Want to Eat Your Pancreas. So in reality, I'm not really DNFing I Want to Eat Your Pancreas. I'm mostly just giving away this particular version since I already own the manga version, and I don't see the point in owning two versions of the same story, which is rich coming from someone who owns like 4 different versions of Harry Potter. But yeah, so I'm DNFing I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, but not because it's a bad story, only because of the fact that I already own the manga version and I probably don't plan to read the novelized version of it. So the final 2 pieces of manga that I have are the manga that I, at this point in time, don't plan to DNF just yet at this point. So they're still going to be sitting on my manga shelf because I don't plan to donate them or give them away. But they might in the future, because at this point in time, I don't have an insane want, like I mentioned, to really continue on with these series, but I'm not ready to give up on them just yet. And that's, like I said, is because it's already happened before with another manga that I was collecting before, which was Skip Beat. So I had kind of given up on Skip Beat, not mostly because of the material involved, that I just wasn't interested in it. It's mostly because I fell so far behind in the manga that I just wasn't for sure if I wanted to pick it back up again. But now I really do want to continue reading Skip Beat and start back reading it from the beginning, which is why these manga kind of fell under that list, because I might at some point decide to start continuing reading these series again because they're not bad whatsoever, which is why I'm just not ready to give them up just yet. So the first one I have is Love and Lies. So I remember buying this in the store and it just sounded so interesting to me. So the main premise of this is that in this world where they're living in, basically all the boys and girls, when they turn 16 years old, are told who their like soulmate is, or who it is that the government has decided that they are to marry. And this boy is put into a very peculiar situation because he decides to confess his love for his childhood friend, and he really hopes that that is whom the government has decided for him to marry. But I believe it turns out to be a different girl, so it starts this whole chain of reaction. I don't entirely know, like I said, the entirety of the entire manga series and how it ends, but I did read the first 2 volumes and I gotta say I just really enjoyed it. But one of the things that I kind of ran into was that at the time, because I was really trying to buy this manga physically, in the bookstore they either were really difficult to find or they just didn't have any in stock. And I don't know why I didn't think to buy them online. I don't know, maybe it's because I just like going to the bookstore and seeing it right there in my face. But yeah, so that's kind of why I'm kind of on the edge of deciding whether or not I want to continue this manga. I probably will, especially now that I'm starting to read more manga digitally, but we'll see. So as of right now, not DNF just yet, but thinking about it. And the last and final one that I have on this list is Kiss Me at the Stroke of Midnight. Now, like I said, not DNF just yet. Still might actually pick this back up again, but not for sure when or how or really why. So the main premise of this is basically this girl is, I guess at her school, as far as I remember, at her school this boy comes and is trying to film a movie there. He's a really hot celebrity and he starts acting like his normal self around her, and it just basically turns her ordinary life into something like really amazing. So I have to say I really did enjoy reading it at the time, but I think I kind of messed up. And where I kind of messed up was that I had gone to the bookstore. I had only at the time bought the first volume because I was just trying it out, and then I realized that I really liked it. But then when I went to the bookstore, I bought volumes 3, 4, and 5 and completely skipped over 2. So I had no idea what really was going on at some points. So I wasn't for sure what happened, and I realized I bought the wrong number volume. So I think that's why I've kind of stopped reading this, and it's just because I missed one volume. And I think when I've gone back to the bookstore, I was never able to find volume 2. Once again, don't know why I didn't just buy them online, but that's okay. So like I said, not fully given up on this just yet, but might be put on the list at some point. Like I said, for this manga as well as Love and Lies, they're both kind of up in the air due to how it turned out, how I felt about Skip Beat, and what I decided to do about that one. So yeah, Kiss Me at the Stroke of Midnight, not on the chopping block just yet, so it's still going to remain on my shelf. So those are all the manga that I've decided to DNF, and the manga that I've decided that while they're not DNF'd just yet and they're going to stay on my shelf at this point in time, I don't have an interest to continue them. But yeah, that's kind of what I have. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know, do you agree with any of the picks? I have my DNF list. What current manga do you have on your DNF list? I feel like I might have said anime at some point during this entire video, so I apologize. But yeah, are there any manga on your list that you plan to DNF, that you plan to donate, or however? Or are there any manga that are in the position that I have Love and Lies in and Kiss Me a Stroke of Midnight, where you're not really for sure how you feel about them just yet? You're not ready to DNF them, but you're not for sure if you want to continue the series just yet. So yeah, let me know your thoughts by commenting, of course, down below. And I, of course, also do have a social media account. I have an Instagram, a Twitter, and a blog, so please feel free to follow me on there. And of course, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give this video a thumbs down. And yeah, please subscribe if you haven't already, because since you're already here, you might as well, you know, just subscribe. And I'll have a new video I'll offer you guys next week on Wednesday, which is actually going to be my what I finished in February and what I plan to watch and read during the month of March. So look out for that video. I'm actually really excited to record it. I feel like I watched a lot of anime during the month of February, and I feel like I also read a lot of manga at the same exact time. So yeah, really can't wait to record that video for you guys. But yeah, like I told you guys, stay positive, stay nerdy, and until today's age, stay healthy, and of course, please stay safe. All right, you guys. Bye.